everyone, it's Sarah Jane, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience with the Diet Expert. You may have watched my other video, which I did a few weeks ago. I was at the end of my week 1 of the programme. If you missed that, you might want to pop along and have a look at that first, because I'll give you a few more details within that video of how the plan works and things like that. So I shall leave a link in the frame right now, or I shall also leave a link in the description box below. But basically I am now at the end of my week, well, my programme really. So I've done 5 weeks and it has been amazing. In total I've lost 10 pounds, which might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but to be fair, I wasn't really needing to be losing a huge amount of weight, and 10 pounds for me is a huge number, because before the programme I was really struggling even to lose a pound, and also because I'm quite short, I'm 5'2", 10 pounds does make a huge difference when you are smaller. So I'm absolutely thrilled with losing 10 pounds, and to be honest with you, I really don't think I could have done that without the help of the Diet Expert. So what I wanted to talk about today is the pros and cons, how I felt during the process and how I feel now. As far as the pros and cons, there isn't really any cons particularly. It's more so some of the foods that I didn't like and some of the foods that I really did like. So I'll give you my experience of those. So if you have watched my last video, you would have known that the programme comes with things like soups or microwavable meals, breads, different things like that, and they're actually like false carbohydrates or false starches. So it means that your body actually uses your fat stores as energy rather than having to eat carbohydrates for energy, and that's how the program works in a nutshell. I actually found that I did lose quite a lot of fat, especially around my midsection. I lost 2.5 inches around that area, an inch around my waist, and an inch also on my arms. So as far as sort of how I'm feeling, you know, my jeans are not as tight. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel so much better. And I think because you feel better, that also increases your confidence as well. So I definitely feel a lot more confident within myself. As far as energy levels, I have felt really good throughout the 5 weeks. There was perhaps only 1 week where I didn't feel quite so good, and that was because it was late time, you know, that time of the month, and I was just feeling a bit hormonal, a bit up and down, wanted to eat more, but I was so proud of myself that I stuck with it and I stayed on the programme for the whole of the 5 weeks. Now just briefly, the way that it works is you do 3 weeks of the slimming stage, which means you have 3 of the products a day. Now it could be things like the soup or the microwavable meal and also a snack, and then you have your evening meal, which contains meat and then as much sort of veg as you want, and a dairy product and a fat product as well. So you would do that for 3 weeks in total, and then the next 2 weeks are stabilization stages, where you actually start to introduce more carbs again. So for my 4th week of the programme, I started having Weetabix for breakfast. I would still have some of the products as well throughout the day, and then stick with my meat and vegetables in the evening. And then the very last week, the 5th week, is where I could introduce a bit more starch throughout the day. So for my lunch, I would also have 50 grams of pasta, and then obviously my meat and my vegetables as well. So the stabilization phase, it can vary for some people. Because you're taking on a few more starches, you can sort of gain another pound or so. I seemed to be fine. I didn't particularly gain a huge amount of weight, but I didn't lose any either in that last week. And apparently it's not weight that you put on, it's actually because your body is holding on to, I can't remember what Anne-Marie said it was now. It's something basically that your body clings onto from the starches, but it's almost like false weight. It's not actually weight or fat in itself. So, you know, that wasn't anything for me to worry about really. One of the biggest things for me is it really sort of helped me to re-educate myself in terms of food and how my body reacted to certain things, and really made me realise that a lot of the things that I was eating before I really didn't actually need. It was more out of habit and maybe boredom and things like that. So It made me realise that I didn't have to have a plate full of carbs to feel full. With all of my meals, I felt like I'd had enough, and if I didn't feel like I'd had enough, I would just maybe have a sugar-free jelly or a piece of fruit. You have to be careful how much fruit you have, especially in the slimming stages because of the natural sugars in it, but I could have as much salad and vegetables as what I wanted. So if I did get hungry, I would just make sure that I kept some carrot sticks, which you can get from the supermarket for £1 for a bag that's already cooked for you. I know that can seem a bit lazy to some people, but for me, I just know that I can grab it whenever I'm on the go and then eat them. So it's all about planning what you're going to eat and really thinking about it, rather than being caught short and thinking, oh, I'm hungry, what can I eat? If you've got something there ready and you know what you're going to have, you're less likely to want to binge or reach for that packet of crisps or that chocolate bar. So for me, that is one of the biggest things I'm going to take away from it, as well as obviously the weight loss, is the knowledge that I don't need a lot of the foods that I was eating before. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that I'm never going to have a treat here and there. Of course I am. I think you've got to get the balance right, and that is one of the things that I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks, is finding that happy balance of keeping the weight off but also remaining healthy. And it's really spurred me on to want to try and try different recipes, because really I don't cook. I am like the worst cook, but because I've been doing things for myself, because my nearest and dearest Anthony, he usually cooks for me, so over this past 5 weeks I think he's been loving it, because I've just been preparing all my own meals, but it's made me want to try different things and look for healthier recipes and different things like that. So I do think it's been so good for me. I know a lot of people have said, well, it's a fad diet, you don't need to do that, you can just eat well, and I honestly don't think that I could have done this by myself. Having this plan there ready, knowing what I've got to eat on every single day, having things that are really easy to prepare, and also having a dietitian that rings me up every week and goes through what I've been eating and answers any questions for me. It was just really good, and I honestly wouldn't say that if it was something that I didn't find that to be really helpful. So if you are thinking of going on this program, I'm just going to give you my honest opinion of what foods I did like and what foods I didn't like. There was only a couple of things that stood out to me of what I really didn't like. I mean, at first, in my last video I talked about the fact that I had some toast and it just didn't really taste very nice at first. It was a bit dry, but then after a couple of days my taste buds changed. And I found that with a lot of things, but some of the things I definitely didn't like was the omelette and the muesli. I didn't like either of those. I don't know why. They just didn't really sit right with me. Some of the things that I did like, however, were the crepes, the whole wheat crepes. They were delicious, especially with a sprinkling of artificial sweetener, which you are allowed on the programme. There was some chocolate covered biscuits which were really nice. I often had those as snacks. And then the one thing which is probably my favourite, and I only ordered 2 of these, and I had them towards the later end of the programme because I wasn't sure I was going to like them, but it was like, oh, I forgot the name of it now. I'll find out and I'll leave it in the description below. But it was basically like a chocolate drink, or so I thought. So I thought it was going to be like a milkshake. So it was a sachet that you put into your little mixer. I actually mixed it with a bit of skimmed milk, and then you just shake it up, and then it went like a mousse. And I really didn't think I was going to like it because I don't particularly like mousses, or so I thought. Oh my goodness, it was so delicious, and I only had 2 of them. So I tried this one the one night, and then the next day I had it for my snack, because this was in my stabilisation phase. So I had it as a snack at work, and I kid you not, I was thinking about this chocolate mousse all day. I couldn't wait till 4 o'clock after my class had finished so that I could go and make this mousse and just eat it, because it was absolutely divine. So much so that I am actually going to go on the website and order some just so that I can have them as a snack, just so I don't feel like I'm snacking on naughty things. I know that this is going to be a high protein product and it's not going to be too detrimental to my body, but that is one thing that I absolutely loved. So all in all, I think it was an absolutely fantastic program to go on. Elizabeth and Anne-Marie are both very supportive. They're always there by email and answering any questions that I had. The products were very good and it did what it said. I lost 10 pounds. I lost 2.5 inches around my stomach, an inch around my waist, an inch on my arms, like I said. So I'm so happy with the results that I got from it. So if you have any more questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to leave me a comment down below and I shall get back to you. If I can't answer any of your questions, then I will also make sure that I can get somebody to answer those questions for you. All of the links for the Diet Expert are down below in the description box, so please feel free to go and check them out. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and following me along with this journey. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it and make sure that you subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching and I shall see you again next time. Bye!